Hey, before we start the video, I just want to send out a spoiler alert because there will be spoilers for Phineas and Ferb and Milo Murphy's Law. Okay? Good. So, Dan Povenmire announced that there was going to be a revival of Phineas and Ferb on the horizon, and before this theory might be talked about in the revival, and I'm going to review every episode of the revival, I want to share this theory. For a long time, people have speculated who Phineas's and Candace's biological dad is, as he is never mentioned directly in the show. People have come up with ridiculous theories, such as Pinhead Pierre or Guy Fieri being Phineas's dad, but these are almost definitely false. Many people also think that Heinz Doofenshmirtz is their dad, and it would make sense. Heinz carries the gene that causes Phineas's triangular head, the gene for the kind of hair Phineas has, and the desire and ingenuity to create machines and innators. Heinz may also hold the gene that causes both Candace and Vanessa to have long necks, but this is refutable. It seems every teen in this universe has long necks, Milo and Milo Murphy's Law, Kevin and Hamster and Gretel, etc. However, Heinz is not Phineas's and Candace's dad, as was debunked by Dan Povenmire in February 2022. I know that going against the creator seems wrong, but Doofenshmirtz is Phineas's and Candace's biological father, just not Heinz Doofenshmirtz. See, Heinz was just a distraction. Their father is Roger Doofenshmirtz. I have plenty of evidence to back this up, so much you will believe me. First up is how Linda and Roger got separated. Studies show that the leading cause in separation and divorce is lack of commitment, and this matches Roger very well. The Phineas and Ferb theories fandom says that many theories involving the unknown biological father have a point to make about the father leaving due to being a workaholic, being addicted to work. If Roger was this father, it would make sense how he got addicted to his work and political campaigns running for mayor of Danville. This would cause the fighting that causes Candace's sadness in a flashback in the episode Nerds of a Feather. Roger may also have had an affair with his secretary, Melanie, a love interest for Roger. All of these reasons compiled would make complete sense of why Roger is Candace and Phineas's father. Roger left the family when Candace was around 5 and Linda was pregnant with Phineas. Roger's last goodbye was giving Candace a plush of Ducky Momo, as shown in the same flashback in Nerds of a Feather. Only the arms are visible in this scene, but they can't be Linda's. As you can see, Linda's skin tone is light rose, while the arms is wax flower. Another person with wax flower skin tone on their arm is Roger Doofenshmirtz. You might be shouting at your screen that Heinz gives many of his physical attributes to Phineas, but Roger does not. But au contraire, mon vieux, as you need a lesson in recessive genes. Basically, every trait you get can go on a grid. For example, we will have Phineas's head shape. On the top of the grid, we have big H, little h, representing Roger, and on the left we have big H, little h, representing Linda. The big H is a dominant trait, meaning that if your trait has a big H in it, you have whatever the big H represents. In this case, it is having a normal-sized and normal-shaped head. Little h represents having the oddly sized triangular head. If there is no big H and only little h's, you will have this triangular head. Whichever square you get on the grid is completely random, but Phineas just happened to get the bottom right one. I am assuming without sufficient evidence that Linda has this little h recessive gene, but I do have evidence that Roger has it. In this grid, it shows the genes for Roger's head shape. Mr. Doofenshmirtz is on the top of the grid with an irregularly shaped head, and Mrs. Doofenshmirtz is on the left with a regularly shaped head. Roger could have gotten either of the top boxes and gotten a regularly shaped head with a hidden irregular head gene. In addition to this, Mr. Doof's irregularly shaped head gene mutated to his kids in the form of a triangular head. This is why Heinz has a triangular head. he had gotten one of the bottom boxes, which had mutated into a triangular head gene. Roger's triangular head gene mutated to the point that Phineas ends up having a rotated triangle for a head instead of the shape Heinz has. These rules would also work for the hair that Heinz and Phineas have. Linda has a trait that has a dominant, full-haired factor and a recessive, spiky hair tuft factor as well. Roger and his parents had this set of genes too. The double recessive gene gave Heinz and Phineas their hair. As for Candace, she got most of her genes from her mother. Next up on the list of evidence, we have Phineas and Ferb theorists saying that their father may be Greek, as both of their names are Greek, this being Candace and Phineas. In contrast to this theory, I say that Drusselstein is a made-up country that mixes attributes from the Balkan countries, Baltic countries, Romania, and generally all of Eastern Europe. Drusselsteinian names may be similar to Greek or Balkan names. This next bit of evidence hops back into the gene format with probability ions. In this universe, there seem to be 4 probability laws: Murphy's Law, Heinz's Law, Orgelouth's Law, and Roger's Law, or the Phineas and Ferb effect. Orgelouth's Law is unimportant in this context, and I'm not touching on it. Murphy's Law is a force introduced in Milo Murphy's Law that says that anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and it affects males in the family Murphy. It is formed by many negative probability ions surrounding one person, making things around them go wrong. Everybody on Earth has them, but there are just more in the Murphy family. Exceptions to this rule of everyone include people with Heinz's Law and Roger's Law. Heinz's Law is a force that acts like Murphy's Law, but instead entails plans being foiled and being minorly injured. Heinz and his parents had this force around them, thus why their beloved gnome was repossessed. Their family's luck has turned on its head when Roger was born, with the mutation of Heinz's Law called Roger's Law, where everything that can go right will go right. Roger's luck gene is big L, little l. The big L represents the mutation, the Roger's Law, and the little l is the hidden Heinz's Law gene. This new Roger's Law explains why Doofenshmirtzes love Roger more than Heinz, because he brings luck and rewards to the family. This is also why Mr. Doofenshmirtz loves Only Son, because the dog doesn't carry Heinz's Law. Roger then has kids with Linda, and while a slightly lessened form of Heinz's Law gets inherited by Candace, Roger's Law gets inherited by Phineas, creating the Phineas and Ferb effect. The only problem is, we don't know who Ferb gets the Phineas and Ferb effect from. It's not the Phineas and Ferb effect without Ferb. Well, this is probably a theory for another time. Dan Povenmire joked that Professor Poopfinplatz is Ferb's mom. Professor Poopfinplatz is Ferb's mom? Poofenplatz. Professor Poofenplatz is Ferb's mom? Maybe it follows the same premise as Phineas's father. Maybe Ferb's mom is the CEO of Stiff Beauty and was thrown out of a job for the malfunctional product causing her face to be mutated, much like Ferb's. But I digress. The only thing I should be able to prove for sure is that Roger Doofenshmirtz is Phineas and Candace's biological father. And if you don't believe that, I don't know what you believe. But hey, that's just a theory. A good theory.